This is brilliant talk.
So when we talk about restoring moral authority in the culture, it seems like there are a couple of ways that have been pursued with regard particularly to young people. And one is a biblical path, and one is, for lack of a better term, the utilitarian Judeo-Christian path. And the reason I ask is because what I found is that as an Orthodox Jew, I never cite the Bible in any of my lectures. And the reason I do is because most of the people I'm talking to don't have that common frame of reference. And what I find is that I get a lot of emails from people then saying that they've started to re-engage with biblical thinking, not because I've cited the Bible, but simply because they've heard the values I'm talking about and now are interested in those values. But that's only one way of coming at it. Another way is to actually inculcate people in the reality of the religion itself. Which one do you think is preferable, and when are these useful?
I think both of them could be useful. I think the biblical approach is preferable by a long shot. Because again, you're taking the authority to an existential level. You're moving the authority up to its highest level. If I tell people that they ought to do this because it's reasonable to do this, and it's historically the way it works, they can show me in history where it didn't work. They can go back to the bloodlines and show, well, it didn't work then. It didn't work when they killed 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. It doesn't work. The Lord of the Flies is the default position of human behavior. I don't like to be caught in the trap of trying to make history authoritative, because there are too many exceptions to that. We've got the best of it in a sense in Western civilization. It doesn't really look so good if you go some other direction like Africa or something like that, or even the Middle East. I need something that is a rock solid, immovable, unchanging, and absolute authority. I really don't have. I don't have enough power. I don't have enough verbal power or enough persuasive, convicting speech in me to convince people to live a certain way. I'm not ever going to be anybody's moral authority. But if I say what the Old Testament prophet said, the word of the Lord came unto me, the word of the Lord came unto me, now I understand that I have a divine authority. I don't ever want to speak without referring to the Bible. And I don't want to apologize for that because it's a secular culture and they don't like it. I really feel badly that they don't like that, but if they don't ever connect with that, they're lost. They're lost both in life and eternity. I have to connect them to the Word of God.
So, I love what they both said, but the problem I find with Ben's position is whenever you talk about moral authority without a transcendent anchor, then morality simply becomes a matter of preference or societal consensus. So you can describe what you think is good and what is better, but you cannot explain why somebody ought to do that thing. That is why I absolutely love Pastor John MacArthur's response. If you enjoyed this clip, like and subscribe for more.